What is going on, everyone? Just the Buzz here. If you're new to the channel, I make Charlotte Hornets content, so if that interests you, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. If you cannot tell by the thumbnail title of this video, the Charlotte Hornets had their first draft workout, and I really wouldn't say there's anybody of noteworthy in there. There's actually some good players in there. I don't really have a draftable grade on majority of them, actually all of them. However, I do feel like they can be some pretty good undrafted free agents. But really what I like looking at this is all these guys, they tack a need that the Charlotte Hornets have, and I feel like at least it gives us an insight into the mind of what the front office is thinking. So we're going to go by each player, and I'm going to kind of tell you about every single one of them, and then I'm going to kind of tell you why I believe this is important, not necessarily for the player, but to understand what the mindset of what the Charlotte Hornets are trying to do. So the first player is Angelo Legree. He is a wing from Eastern Washington, I believe. He originally went to UNC Greensboro, so we know how the Hornets like to do there. But he's just a creative wing that finds many ways to score. He shoots pretty well from the three-point line. There's nothing really dominant necessarily about his game. It's not that he's super quick or anything like that. It's just that he is a shot creator. He can score from anywhere, and that's what I like about his game. And I feel like the Charlotte Hornets do need that. Does he do it to a level where, I'm not going to say he won't make the team or anything like that, but does he do it to an extent where, oh, this guy's going to be actually playing for us? I don't quite think so. He's one of the better players of like the lower tier basketball, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just I don't foresee that really helping the Hornets any. But I do see that the Hornets, they desperately need bench scoring, especially because of how Kelly Oubre scores. Is more of a shot chucking. He doesn't really create much offense. So yeah, I could very much see the Hornets attacking that. So I'm glad they're looking at someone like him. So when we get deeper into the draft process, I just wouldn't be surprised if they start looking at the more top tier prospects. Next up is Malik Jacobs, who actually is from Wilmington, North Carolina. So the Hornets, once again, they're doing their thing. And what I like about him, he's 6'4". He cannot shoot. He is not that good of a shooter, but he is a really, really good perimeter defender. And like I said, as I don't think the Hornets are really looking to get him, like I said, maybe in like an undrafted free agent type thing, but it is important to see, okay, perimeter defense, that is a big need for the Charlotte Hornets, and they recognize that. So they're looking at guys, and I don't blame them. Like, you want to look for those type of guys you need that make that fit your need all up and down the draft board. You don't want to just look at the top 10 or top 20 or anything like that. You want to look everywhere, and here we go. Like, this is a guy who may be an undrafted free agent, maybe back half of the second round, and it's very slim. Like, I really don't think so, but he would be one of the first people that would probably be called to be on summer league teams. But really, really good defender, and that's what we desperately need. So this next one might actually be my favorite out of the 6 guys they brought in to do the first workout, and that's Jake Stevens. What I like about Jake Stevens is that he's 6'10", and he's a center, but he shoots like 50, 40, 80, something like that. So that is something that I feel like the Hornets desperately need as well. I wouldn't say desperately, but it is something to have in the back of your mind, is that we need a big that can somewhat stretch the floor, because both our bigs almost play the same, especially when it comes to offense. So you need someone from that position that can also shoot. We're hoping Kai Jones' shot comes along, but there's no telling like what's really going on with Kai. And even if he'll be on a roster, I think the Hornets are really looking to make a push next year, especially with Miles Bridges more likely coming back. So where does that leave Kai? I don't know. But a guy like Jake Stevens, I know, like I said, he may not be a draftable player, but to know that they're thinking about, hey, it would be a good idea to have some type of stretch 5, I think that's pretty good. And he's a pretty good defender too, averaging 10 rebounds last year. The next player we have is Qudus Wahab. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. I actually wasn't too familiar with him, so I had to look him up. He went to Georgetown, transferred to Maryland, transferred back to Georgetown. And to be honest, I don't really see why the Hornets even, I wouldn't see why they brought him in, but it just doesn't make sense. There's no way he will even get close to the roster just because he can't shoot. He's a big, and that's really it. He doesn't score that well. He doesn't protect the paint that well. That's kind of it. He's not a horrible player or anything like that. I'm never going to call any of these guys horrible unless it's Jalen Crutcher, because you know how I feel about Jalen Crutcher. But anyway, he's not a horrible player. It's just I don't really see the fit. His skill set isn't that unique, and it just doesn't. I don't foresee why this. Maybe they just need to bring in 6 people. So another North Carolina native, in a way, we have Jarkel Joyner from NC State. He is a undersized guard. He's at 6'1". I mean, he shoots okay. He shoots like 35% from the field. He scores a lot. He scores a lot of points. Like last year, he averaged 17 points. I think that's good. as far as just having someone that can possibly come off the bench, I don't see it happen. Like I said, he's 6'1". His skill set is not out of this world or anything like that, or it's not like Marcus Noel, where he go, the guy that goes to Kansas State, who is extremely talented. He's just 5'9". All right, and last up of the workout, we have Seneca Knight. He just recently started being able to shoot. I think this is like his 4th year in college. Maybe it's his 5th year. But either way, he has not been able to shoot. He had one season before where he was a decent shooter. Last year, he shot nearly 40% from 3. It's just that I'm not going to take that 1 year and then say, oh, he can shoot. So it is good to see that the Hornets are just prioritizing shooting. A lot of these guys they brought in can shoot, and maybe the Hornets don't feel like they can get that pure shooter out of the draft, maybe because they're looking at someone who can't shoot. Maybe they're looking at a Thompson twin, which is just a reality. If you're the Hornets, Wemby's there, who really isn't that great of a shooter. Scoot Henderson's there, not really that great of a shooter. Brandon Miller, different, but then you got the Thompson twins who aren't there. So it does seem important to the Hornets that, hey, we need some shooting. I don't care how we get it. And that does it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think of the guys that are in the first workout. It's not like the Hornets are behind. I think a lot of teams do this. It's not, hey, you've been scouting Amin Thompson, you've been scouting Anthony Black, Cam Whitmore, you've been scouting all those guys all season. These guys are just guys that you want to bring in for the workout and see if you can find an untapped gem. If I had to pick a gem out of this class, I would go with Jake Stevens, just because of the fact that he's a big, he can rebound, and he can shoot, and he finishes in the paint. I think those are things that are very hard to find, and I'm just willing to take that risk. Even if it's just bringing him into the G League or whatever the case may be, I'm into trying that as a risk, because it's not going to hurt you. To see if this big can continue to shoot at the NBA level and continue to finish inside and rebound at the NBA level. Because if he does, you got yourself a steal. If he doesn't, you tried, and he at least has the skill set worth, trying to see what he got. So that would be my untapped gem out of this, even though Angelo Legree, I think he's someone that the Hornets could actually look at as well, or other teams. But other than that, it's just a bunch of guys. But I'm more interested in the philosophy of the Hornets, and I think it's going in the right direction. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.